Good afternoon and welcome to this Wednesday, October 28th edition of Westman Newsline. I'm Brent Harder alongside Charles Tweed and Chris Tataryn. In today's news, the father of the 13-year-old Ontario boy to die of the H1N1 virus speaks out. And Charles will begin with sports. Charles, I understand the Wheat Kings played a hard-fought game against the Winterhawks in Portland last night.
Yeah, you got it, Brent. And the result might not tell the entire story, as the Wheaties showed a lot of resilience last night in Portland. I'll have that and more later on in sports.
Okay, Charles and Chris will be giving us all of our weather updates. The rain was back once again yesterday, Chris. I hope you have some good news for us for the rest of the week.
Well, Brent, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it looks like the rain isn't about to stop anytime soon. You can expect rain tonight and all day tomorrow. Currently in Brandon, it's 4 degrees and cloudy with a likely chance of rain. I'll have all your weather details coming up later in the show.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks to the watchful eye and quick thinking of a Brandon police officer, one family's home has been saved. Around 4 o'clock this morning, a patrol officer spotted a fire while doing his rounds. The parents and 2 children safely evacuated the house on the 400 block of 1st Street, and the fire was confined to the back of the home. The cause of the fire is yet to be determined. Raju Madanu, a pastor at St. Augustine's Church in Brandon, has pleaded guilty to break and enter and theft. Madanu says he took money from St. Augustine's Church to help orphans in Africa. About $13,000 was taken between February and June. However, the court was told $54,000 was sent to individuals with the same last name as the accused. Judge Christina Tarwood delayed sentencing when it appeared Crown and defense lawyers were about to recommend a conditional sentence. Tarwood instructed defense lawyer Bernie Rodrigue to present a document of where the money came from and where it went. Madanu will be sentenced December 22nd. The grief-stricken father of an Ontario 13-year-old who died of swine flu is speaking out. Paul Prostaglio says the death of his otherwise healthy son came without warning. It should serve as a lesson to parents to keep a close eye on their children at the first sign of illness. Prostaglio said it took less than 2 days for the H1N1 flu virus to kill his son Evan. The sudden death of the healthy 13-year-old came as a revelation for many Canadians. Clinics around Brandon have been extremely busy. Almost 15,000 Manitobans have so far managed to get the H1N1 vaccine despite long lineups. Officials are urging that young children, Aboriginals, and people with underlying medical conditions get immunized against the H1N1 virus. Some clinics have reported waits of several hours. As Manitoba springs into action on the vaccines, Westman Newsline asked staff and students around Assiniboine Community College whether they'd be rolling up their sleeves for the needle.
Just not that concerned about it. I don't think it's as big a deal as everybody makes it out to be. It's just another virus. People die from the regular flu all the time, so.
Why is that?
I'm not really too worried about it. I feel that I'm healthy, so just as long as you take the proper precautions and stuff, you should be fine.
And I don't think I need a flu shot because I've never got it in the past and seem to live a healthy lifestyle. And the school's procedures in place, I think that it's a safe environment.
I don't feel like I need it. I don't know. I think the school's pretty clean. It's got hand sanitizers. I carry one in my purse. I haven't even got the flu, so I just don't think I need it.
Just because I'm not a huge fan of needles and I don't see much need of getting one. Just because I don't get sick very often, so.
Because I think my immune system is strong and it attacks people in the ages of like 30s, mid-30s and younger, like children, like babies and that, and adults like older, like 70 and that, so I think my immune system will be good.
With Greyhound set to park their buses in Manitoba this Saturday, a few other bus lines have expressed interest in taking over routes in the province. Jerry Boughton, president of Boughton Bus Lines in Winnipeg, says his company is in the process of creating a business plan to bridge the gap between Saskatchewan and Ontario. Plans would include more service and lower rates. Also interested in taking over bus runs in Manitoba is Caribou Coach out of northwestern Ontario. Details on their plans have not yet been released. 7 new daycare centres are opening in Winnipeg, while a further 9 are being expanded as part of the provincial government's plan to create new childcare spaces. The government released details of its plan Tuesday to spend $2.35 million to boost the childcare system's capacity in Winnipeg. New daycares will open at Concordia Hospital and at the University of Manitoba's Inner Circle Social Work Training Centre, among other places, while several other existing centres in the city will receive funding to expand. The projects are part of a 12-point childcare plan released by the Family Services Department in April of 2008. The plan includes promises to fund 6,500 more daycare spaces and 1,000 more nursery school spaces and produce an automated central wait list for parents looking to get their kids into care. And with that, let's take a gander at where today's money markets are currently sitting.
For all your local news, weather, and sports coverage, watch Westman Newsline. Broadcasting from Assiniboine Community College on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 1 o'clock.
Stephen Harper's Conservative government will start providing some specific details on its infrastructure stimulus spending by week's end. Kevin Page, Parliament's independent budget officer, told a committee in the House of Commons yesterday that his office will be getting province-by-province details very soon. The Parliamentary Budget Office has expressed frustration over the lack of specifics as it attempts to track the billions of dollars in government stimulus spending and its impact on the economy. Canada's infrastructure stimulus details continue to roll out, but there are new signs that our neighbours to the south continue to face adversity after President Obama's stimulus plan isn't putting an end to jobs being lost in the U.S. Currently, there are 30 million unemployed citizens in the United States. House Republicans have found that 49 out of the 50 states have shed large quantities of jobs, and the news from one major manufacturer may also prove embarrassing to the president. CNN's Ines Ferris reports.
Back in February, President Obama went to a Caterpillar plant in Illinois to say that the stimulus bill would help bring back some of the more than 20,000 workers laid off by the heavy equipment maker.
Yesterday, Jim, the head of Caterpillar, said that if Congress passes our plan, this company will be able to rehire some of the folks who were just laid off.
Afterwards, the CEO of Caterpillar corrected the president, saying there would likely be more layoffs before any rehiring. This week, Caterpillar announced it'll bring back 550 laid-off workers by the end of next year, but is permanently cutting the jobs of 2,500 workers now on layoff. The reason? Lagging sales and uncertainty about the timing and strength of recovery. Administration officials say the stimulus money has created or saved 600,000 to 1.5 million jobs so far. Republicans in Congress say that all but one state, North Dakota, have lost jobs since the stimulus took effect. Some conservative economists say we're not yet getting enough bang for the buck.
And what actually the data shows is while the government got the money and is starting to spend it, it's already spent over $100 billion. Unemployment rate is going up along with the money that is being spent.
The White House says many more jobs would have been lost without the stimulus.
Most analysts predict that the fiscal stimulus will have its greatest impact on growth in the second and third quarters of 2009.
Romer says job losses will likely end next year and big gains may still be several quarters away. Ines Ferris, CNN, New York.
Death toll in a market bombing in northwestern Pakistan is rising. It's up to 86 with more than 200 people wounded. The blast sparked a fire that sent debris across the area. The violence coincides with a trip to Pakistan by U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. The government is blaming militants seeking to avenge an army offensive against insurgents along the Afghan border. Now crossing the Pakistan border, a UN spokesman says the world body is re-evaluating its work in Afghanistan. It comes after an attack at a Kabul guest house left 6 of its staff dead. At least 12 people were killed in the attack, including the 3 gunmen. The Taliban is claiming responsibility, saying the violence is a protest of the upcoming presidential runoff election. And that's all for your news, but stay tuned. Chris is back with your weather next.